2, 1, drop it.
How are you doing, everyone? The Devstream just ended about an hour ago, and I put this video together for you to summarize everything that's in it. Incredible and great things are coming, to be honest, and really happy about the direction they seem to be going with all of this. What you see there, for instance, is a new frame. These are the new primed weapons in-game and the concept art and so on. Yeah, looks like everything's shaping up, you know? Having played for 10 years, I think I'm in a position to say that. It's definitely improved and improving at an accelerating rate. So these are the 3 signature weapons of the new frame. This is the Stalker ship. It's a cosmetic only ship. New operation for clans coming. Those typically last about a month and a half. A huge new cinematic storyline quest featuring Jade, massive quality of life changes, Tenogen, of course, 3 new frames and an Ikana skin and another weapon skin. Armor revision so that armor stripping is no longer obligatory and 50% armor strip actually does something. This was a hilarious shenanigan in which Rebecca tried to bribe Stug, the masked individual here, into taking off his helmet, but then Megan just bullied him into doing it. And yeah, we're back with Jade, who turns out to be a bit of a angel, opposite of the Stalker type frame with wings, and she seems to use sound. Like, the name they were thinking of using for her before was Choir or Chorus, but they settled on Jade. And the Jade light will play a big part in the summer update, and we'll see why. So that's the concept art for her. Always interesting what they make of the concept art. I'm sure, Jade light enemies existing. The storyline's going to be pretty interesting. Yeah. And they seem to be taking a more human approach to all of this, especially with, as I covered in my last video, Arthur and Mag's faces being revealed, the side of morality playing a more prominent part in the game. As mentioned, the Evensong bow is Jade's signature bow. The Kantare throwing knives are her throwing knife signature secondary weapon, with a very cool Sugatra. Those little hooks. And this is the Harmony scythe. It folds in on itself, and then it extends when you're carrying it in combat, or at least when you're swinging, for sure. And yeah, here we get an overlook of Protea Prime, of course, and the weapons and their preliminary stats. They seem to be great for hybrid crit status, with more of a focus on crit on the scythe and status on the kunai. Kunai, in my opinion, very underused weapons, but very stylish and fun. In Karnon, for instance. Yeah, this is the Jade alt helmet, Aureolt or Aureolt helmet. Someone on the dev team said Oreo helmet. It seems to open up once you actually kill enemies, use skills, use abilities, something like that. Fire, or perhaps run at a certain speed, given that she has something to do with sound. Probably not that, but who knows. All in all, this dev stream was just lively. That describes it in one word. They were having a good time. The good vibes were infectious. They're even with this amplified focus on Stalker, they're revealing his motives, and you actually get to play as him in the new update. So that's coming in June, July sometime. So there's 2 or 3 big changes coming before, I think that's before TennoCon, when they'll announce the next massive expansion. Operation Belly of the Beast they didn't actually say very much about, but you can see from the silhouette impaled Warframe helmets, so very powerful enemies capable of just decapitating Warframes, and it looks like the silhouette of an acolyte. Yeah, so something to do with hunting acolytes and, needing to increase your defenses to a great amount. As mentioned with Jade, there's some kind of Jade light Eximus feature coming, which all factions will be affected by. Perhaps it has something to do with the Void, or it's going to be like the opposite of the Void. They really didn't reveal too much. These 4 bullet points actually said more than they did during the dev stream. They just said like, stay tuned, right? So here's some of the quality of life changes. So they're adding new Duviri decrees to increase playstyle options and choices. Alchemy mode is coming to the circuit, one of the most popular modes from Sanctum Anatomica. New augments, specifically 4, 1 each for Protea, Corvex, Tagath, and Sevagoth. AI, as in mob density, increase for cross-platform play. Previously, don't know if you noticed this, but if you played together with someone on a console, the amount of mob density was reduced, sometimes drastically. That wouldn't really happen anymore. They fixed some optimization things. Necromech acquisition is being made easier. Stalker drop rates and systems for acquiring bonds are being equalized and buffed. So instead of like 2% drop rate on Despair, you now have like 20%, 30%, something like that. Everyone's going to have it soon enough, basically. Standing bonus. Netra Cells and Deep Archimedia now reward standing. Max out with those. You can replay the Whisper in the Walls quest. I'm going to do that, definitely. Kind of rushed through it last time. Enemy scaling and status effects rework is the big one, to be honest. That is in this next section. So the general tone of the armor, shield, and enemy HP rework is streamlining and making it so that you're not pigeonholed, you're not forced into complete armor strip or slash. So all of the other status elements are going to become much more useful after this. So the next thing that they discussed in the dev stream with Pablo was armor scaling. They're changing it so that any amount of armor reduction is actually effective and useful instead of just strip, cancel all armor, break all armor, or don't do anything to it, which is what we currently have. Either you go slash, or you go 14 stacks of corrosive, or 100% on your abilities. So this change is also great. In general, they're just making the game more friendly to both beginners and legendary rank players and everything in between. Adding depth instead of complexity, I really think it's all headed in a good direction. Also looking forward to hearing more about this Ascension game mode. Ascension was mentioned in the Styanax trailer, for instance. There was this sort of false Ascension. I think this one's going to be different with Jade, but that is the one time I did remember hearing about it. In case you missed it earlier in this video, I showed that the Kuva Sobek and Tenet Glaxion will be dropping, and the motorcycle, the atomic cycle, is really going to be one of my favorite parts of the update coming in June, July. It just implies that we're getting massive open roads. Where else would you use a motorbike? And maybe sort of proto-Earth before the entire apocalypse took place? Sounds cool to me.